In the realm of fantasy and romance novels, a new protagonist has emerged and taken center stage: the invulnerable heroine. This character, often endowed with magical abilities or an unbreakable spirit, navigates through emotional turmoil and psychological trials with an armor of invincibility. The most striking red flag of this archetype is the glorification of emotional imperviousness, painting a picture that to be strong, one must be devoid of vulnerability. This portrayal not only skews the perception of strength, but also disregards the complexity of human emotion, leading to a toxic narrative that equates invulnerability with empowerment. The psychological analysis of such behavior reveals a concerning implication. Emotional resilience is being misrepresented. True emotional resilience is the ability to face one's feelings, to be vulnerable, and to recover from adversity, not to be impervious to it. The invulnerable heroine, however, sidesteps the essential human experience of vulnerability. This denial of emotional exposure is a form of avoidance, a defense mechanism that psychologists argue can lead to increased anxiety, depression, and difficulty in forming authentic relationships. By idolizing a character who never shows weakness, literature inadvertently sends the message that vulnerability is a flaw rather than a strength. Consider, for example, Aelin Galathynius from Sarah J. Maas's Throne of Glass series and Vin from Brandon Sanderson's Mistborn. Aelin faces immense trauma and loss, but often pushes through her emotional pain with a fierce determination that borders on emotional imperviousness. Similarly, Vin exhibits a remarkable ability to overcome psychological and physical abuse without seemingly processing the emotional toll it takes. While these characters are celebrated for their resilience and power, the narrative often glosses over the healing process, implying that strength comes from emotional armor rather than growth and understanding. Why does this matter? The portrayal of the invulnerable heroine has real-world implications, particularly for young readers who look to these characters as models of empowerment. This narrative can discourage the acceptance and expression of emotions, suggesting that to be strong, one must remain emotionally guarded. In a society that often stigmatizes emotional vulnerability, especially in women, reinforcing this message only perpetuates the problem. It can lead to young people feeling isolated in their emotional experiences, believing that to ask for help or express emotional pain is a sign of weakness. Moreover, the invulnerable heroine trope can skew perceptions of what healthy relationships look like. These characters often navigate their romantic and platonic relationships with the same emotional armor, rarely depending on others for emotional support or showing profound emotional intimacy. This portrayal can set unrealistic expectations for relationships, where emotional invulnerability is seen as desirable, rather than mutual emotional support and vulnerability, which are the cornerstones of deep, meaningful connections. In conclusion, while the invulnerable heroine may appear as a beacon of strength and empowerment, a deeper analysis reveals a troubling narrative that glorifies emotional imperviousness and discourages vulnerability. Literature has the power to shape perceptions, influence emotions, and impact behavior. As such, it is crucial to challenge the narrative of invulnerability and promote a healthier representation of emotional resilience, one that recognizes the strength in vulnerability, the importance of emotional expression, and the value of emotional interdependence. To think, if we continue to idolize the invulnerable heroine, what message are we sending to the next generation about the nature of strength and resilience? Character psychology is fascinating, and sometimes our favorite characters exhibit behaviors we'd never tolerate in real life. What do you think about this analysis? Are there other characters with red flags I should cover? Let me know in the comments. Your suggestions help shape future videos.